Yo, what's poppin', man? What's to it? Y'all already know how the squad do it. You gotta stay moving to get through it. I hope everybody is blessed and stress free. And if you ain't, start knowing you can so you can stop thinking you can't. And with that being said, man.
Noli, fucking with me. We finna make this shit happen. Cause they can't do it. Played the front in the morning, hit the back when the sun fell. Hiding transactions from the neighbors so they don't tell. Regardless what we spread, this bitch won't hide the dope smell. Niggas get popped, took the jail as hell dope tails. How the fuck you still on the bricks with open dope sales? If they ain't did it already, believe they gon' tell. Outsmart the rookies, so the sergeants on our coattails.
Y'all already see what's on the screen. Y'all already see what's on the screen. The Coon Queen herself. She decided to go and sit down and do an interview. Now, I don't know who Katie Miller is. I really don't. I ain't did no research on her. But I know who Nicki Minaj is, right? And her current stance on a lot of this stuff is really new to me. It really is new to me. Like I've yet to know when she became this person. Like, you know, with the music that she do and all of the, you know what I'm saying? But one thing stuck out to me. One thing stuck out to me. Her husband and baby father and the glazer that she's glazing both have something in common. Yeah, they both have something in common. They are convicted woman violators. Yeah, that's how we're gonna put that. They are convicted woman violators of the statutory type. Yeah, the minor type. But she decided to go and sit down. Either way, she decided to go and have an interview and I guess share her views. So we finna check because see, I'm confused. So I want to know. So this from what I heard, it's a very fair conversation. So we finna check and see. We finna delve into it. So let's just go ahead and start to run this.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Katie Miller Podcast. We're so excited to be back in Washington, D.C. today, joined in D.C. by the one and only Nicki Minaj.
Hi, Katie.
You've been recently very vocal about politics and social issues. Was there a specific moment that flipped the switch for you? Was it Gavin Newsom? Was it Nigeria? What made you wake up, so to speak?
Well, you know what, Katie? I think that people's steps are aligned. I used to always tell people this when I was growing up, but like I had this strong premonition my whole life that I had a second.
I want to start by saying this, right? So I went to the dentist today. It's a little off course, I know. But I went to the dentist today. And I got numbed, right? It's kind of hard to really talk, like, as you can see, kind of, you know what I'm saying? But, is it me or is her face moving like this when she talk? Like, ain't nothing, like she has no, like her eyebrows don't even move. Or am I just tweaking off of the numb and shit that's in my shit? Am I goofing?
Job to do. Like, I would always tell people that knew me very, like that I was close with, I would always tell them,
it's Botox. It's Botox. That's definitely Botox. That bitch got Botox.
You know, the Lord told me that I have a second calling. I would say a second calling. Because and this was, by the way, this was before I even made it in rap. So imagine not making it in rap and being told in your head you have that to do, but you'll have another thing to do. So I just used to be like, okay. And I thought that maybe the Lord was putting that in my heart because maybe I would have a church. So so even jokingly, I would call my husband Pastor Petty. I would be like, you need to get your sermons ready and get ready to preach. And, you know, and he used to be, but something inside of me just told me I would have another thing to do. And so actually, the first time I said it out loud or texted it was during the last campaign, the presidential campaign, this last one. I saw something and I texted someone I knew right away, and I said, this is a mistake. And I also said, all of this is making me want to get into politics. So the last thing that really did it was me seeing certain things, the campaign, this recent campaign, presidential campaign, and knowing that I could help, because the things that I was saying, it was happening. Like, I was saying, oh, this is a bad idea, or this is a good idea, or just, and the things I was saying were coming to fruition.
What the, bro? What was you saying? Oh, this is bad and this is good, and it just started coming to, for what was you saying? You text somebody and you,
and so it made me think, oh, this is easy. I mean, if it's this easy, then maybe I should do it. And then there was something that happened a few months ago that if I wasn't going to do it before, something happened a couple months ago.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it, but
I tell you what happened a couple months ago. Tell you what happened a couple months ago. See, we're just in February, the beginning, and you want to say a couple to a few months ago, right? So this is when the ICE surge was really turning up and going up. You feel me? And then you realized that you was here illegally on your visa because you ain't American, and your shit is up. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what you don't want to speak on. That's all of a sudden now you want to get into this. Ain't nobody no fucking fool, gang.
I'll say that sometimes people can push you so much that they push you all the way into your next calling, into your next blessing.
And guess what? Your president, who you glazing, pushed you so hard into glazing him because you knew that you were an illegal immigrant. Yeah.
Into your next life. And that's what happened with me.
What issue specifically, like, drew you in the most? Is it immigration? Is it the economic policy? Is it religious freedoms? What specifically, answers that calling that you talk about?
Definitely, religious freedom is something that's very important to me. But if I'm being honest, President Trump.
There go y'all answer. Now she just asked her, which one was it? Immigration first. If y'all don't know, interviewers, right? Interviewers, they do a lot of homework before they interview a person. You feel me? And for Nicki Minaj to not say immigration, religious freedom is very important to her. And then she says it's President Trump.
Yes, because when I saw how he was being treated over and over and over, I just couldn't handle it. Like, because I felt that same, a lot of that bullying and the smear campaigns and all of the lying, I felt that had been done to me for so many years. And I was watching it.
Nikki, when was this done to you, gang? When was this done to you, gang? I don't remember one time where the so-called barbs, right? Ain't that what y'all call yourself, Pink Fridays? I don't remember a time where none of that happened. The only thing I remember is you getting into it with Cardi B about who was better, and that was it. Oh yeah, and you showed how ignorant you was then too. But when did anything and bullying? Trump?
In real time happened to someone else. And I didn't think he deserved it. And it made me think, I can't do this anymore.
Have you ever spoken with President Trump?
I have. During the last campaign, I spoke to him briefly. I forgot exactly what they said when they called. Oh, gosh. I forgot. But I remember saying I wanted to ask him some questions.
So they called you You forgot what they said when they called, but you remember saying that you wanted to ask him some questions. What made the presidential people call Nicki Minaj? And then you spoke to him briefly.
And he got on the phone. He was very easy to talk to, and polite and all of that. And I asked him a few questions, because I said, with me, everything I do, I have to take account. I have to take an account for my fan base. And so I had recently been seeing a couple things circling online, and I just wanted to confirm with him directly. And I said, do you have a problem with the LGBT community? And I asked him if he had a problem with the Jewish community. And I asked him about...
You're lying. Why did you even go on here and do this? Why would you even went and did this? Like, you are clearly lying. Like, and none of this is even making sense. And you doing it in 4K. These is good ass cameras they got. Like, we even see that your face ain't moving when you talk. Like, and you finna...
About women's rights. And he gave me wonderful answers to all of them, to where I knew that he respected me and he respected my fan base. And it was very, very thoughtful questions and just honest. And that's the thing with him. He just is an authentic human being. It didn't feel like he was making up an answer or trying to, make something that was...
What's crazy to me is that you needed to ask him these questions, where prior you said that, it was this election that got you where you at, and you saw all the bullying. Well, if that's the case, then you would have saw him get on the stage and openly. You didn't have to ask. You can go find 150 different press conferences and all types of shit that he done where he's literally talking about your fan base. And
going to sound good. It sounded like he really answered the question as if he and I were best friends, from 25 years ago. It made me feel comfortable. But at that time, I didn't come out and endorse him. I wish I did, though.
So this was before your glazing? So you was glazing beforehand and you didn't endorse. So they called Nicki Minaj and you told them that you wanted to ask him some questions. And then he told you what he told you and you didn't endorse him. And you want to glaze now 1 year and what, 27 days after he gets put into the...
President Trump both like to give people nicknames.
Yeah.
President Trump refers to Gavin Newsom as Gavin Newscum. So do you. Yeah. Can you tell me, did you come up with it first? Did President Trump come up with it first?
Thank you for asking, because a lot of the Barbs thought that I made it up. So I have to make sure this is clear. Barbs, the president made that up. I stole that nickname from him because people, like my fans know I'm a nickname person. I give everyone a nickname, especially if I don't like them. But then, no, actually, and the people I love a lot, I do give them nicknames too. But that's why Trump is so funny, because he reminds me a lot about a lot of myself in a lot of ways. So, no, he called Gavin Newscum, and I thought it was hilarious. But it was a long time ago when he made that up. Mm-hmm. And he's, that's been his thing for a long time. And so when I was about to acknowledge him, recently, of course I was going to call him Newscum. Like, I mean, it was already...
This is how dumb and how outside of everything that you and your Barbs are. Because he called him that a long time ago, and you end up calling him that recently when you finally decided to start glazing. And your Barbs, with they dumb ass, thought that you made that up. They thought you made that up. You want to know why they thought you made that up? Probably because they weren't Trump supporters, and neither the fuck were you to even know when he met. Never mind.
He branded, in my opinion.
What is some of the policies in California, given you've spent a lot of time there, that makes you think Gavin Newsom is Gavin Newsom? Is it the mass amount of illegal immigration and tax dollars being spent for legal and healthcare? Is it the failure to rebuild homes in the Palisades? Is it just pro-trans ideology and pushing that on kids in schools? What stands out the most to you?
And I'm glad you asked that, because I want to make it clear. I personally don't have an issue with the trans part of the LGBT at all. I am the biggest advocate for adults being able to do whatever the heck they want to do. They're adults. I don't care. I only mentioned something because when it comes to children, I wouldn't even allow my 17-year-old daughter to get breast implants. Neither, like, and most 99% of the parents would not let their 17-year-old child get breast implants. So if you wouldn't let a child get breast implants, you're not going to want them to have any kind of surgery, because we all know the brain is not developed. And we've heard about 19 times more likely to commit suicide. What more do you need to know? That a child is 19 times more likely to commit suicide if they have a surgery before they're an adult? So I just wanted to make that clear, because, of course, I don't judge, adults with, they can do whatever they want. With Newsom, it's the fact that with everything you said, but then having the audacity to be playing on Twitter, obsessed with Trump, trying to be Trump, trying to be funny when it's not, and then wanting to roll around in the mud with female rappers or whomever, and completely missing the plot. That's the thing. You are competing with President Trump, but President Trump is already the president. Get it? He's already done it twice. He's won. Good. Okay. Meanwhile, you are embarking on what a journey that will end up being a big, huge failure. But for him, but still don't seem to grasp the fact that these jokes that you're making are only funny to your assistant. The weirdo little guy that calls black women stupid hoes and stuff, you see. But that's the whole thing. No one cares. And he's making a fool out of himself, like when he went all the way to another country to speak ill of the country and the president. We would never want someone like that to be our president. Americans are so big on loyalty, and that just showed us all you do not have a loyal bone in your body, and no one is going to vote for you. But so it was a little bit, so it was that, but it was that I don't think people realize, and you guys, but I publicly asked for his help a couple times on Twitter about swatting calls that were happening, that were clearly a part of their extended smear campaign. And he completely ignored it, right? And next thing you know, he's on there flapping his gums about female rap stuff and trying to get in women's business. So I had to show him who's boss on Twitter. So good.
Did y'all notice she didn't say nothing else about immigration again? The main thing that Trump is put, she ain't said 2 words about immigration again. And the reason she just gave is her reason for...
You came to this country when you were little as an immigrant. What are your thoughts on the Trump administration's approach to illegal immigration and deportations?
Well, if I had a business or a home or anything, and someone was there one day when I walked downstairs to cook breakfast or something, I would have them kicked out of my home because I didn't invite them. And this is my private home. So the president has to treat the United States as if it's his private home. People all around the world have to respect the policies of the country and the administration. Therefore, to my immigrants, who I love very much, I love my immigrants, I'm an immigrant. But how can you tell a president not to enforce a law that simply says you have to be legal to get in the country? Now, what people don't understand is there are spies. There are things that we don't know about, but that the administration and that security knows about. People who have to secure the country. So a person coming in illegally to the country, they could be there to do anything. You do not know. They have to be vetted. There's nothing wrong with that. It would be so stupid of any country to have an open door policy where people are not vetted. You don't
Okay, Nicki. Let's just go see this real quick. Let's go ask a ye old trusty Google. How do immigrants enter the country? Immigrants into the U.S. legally through family sponsorship, employment-based visas, the diversity lottery, or as refugees/asylees. Yeah. Others enter on temporary non-immigrant visas, tourism, student work. Unauthorized entry occurs by crossing borders without inspection or by overstaying authorized visas, as which you have done, Nicki. You have overstayed your visa. Now, these people that we are calling immigrants, they have asylum applications in. They came here seeking asylum, right? Refugees, right? And asylum seekers. So now, which one of these people, when they're saying that they're undocumented, which one of these immigrants, right, would be illegal?
Imagine having somebody that you do not know in your home and you don't know anything about them. We do background checks for everything.
But they can fight in the war. They can serve the military. How many immigrants did we send to Iraq? How many immigrants have we sent to war since fucking Bush and all of the other presidents? But now we don't know them?
You don't think there needs to be a background check to get in the country?
Bitch, look at the background check on the president. What the fuck is we talking about? You want us to do a background check on people trying to come somewhere to escape horror, while we have an active president who is one of the most horrible?
So, I don't know. That may have come off too harsh. But
I think it was a good explanation. You could have been harder.
okay.
How has illegal immigration impacted the Black community specifically?
Well, African Americans have finally decided, find somebody else to do it. That's why they're not protesting, okay? They finally decided that they are not going to be anyone's pawn in these political games anymore.
I don't know what black people she talking about, but I've seen nothing but black people all over the world marching and protesting. So, find somebody else to do it. Dumbass, you do know that when they get all the immigrants out of here, they only gonna be looking for us to do it, right?
Or in this political theater, the political theatrics, they're not going to be bothered. They're going to be at work or at home or, creating. And that's that. And I'm very happy because where's the money? Where are the billions of dollars that was stolen? Okay? Because guess what?
There was no $1 billion stolen. This is why we haven't heard any more fraud, right? How much about fraud have we been hearing? Anything else about? Nothing. Them people didn't come here and steal a motherfucking thing. They did what they were supposed to do. Y'all just...
The people who work hard and pay taxes, they have a right to know. Like, there's no more distracting people. Everyone is smarter than that. And I think that's where African Americans stand right now, is that they're not going to keep on speaking for people who every time they get in office, they completely forget about them, and they just use them, every 4 years. Find somebody else to do it.
You called for Don Lemon's arrest. You called for Don Lemon's arrest over his church stunt in Minneapolis. He's since called you racist, unhinged, homophobic, and out of your depth. Anything you'd like to say to Don Lemon?
Cocksucker, stop.
You recently announced that you were giving money to the Trump accounts for future generations.
Yes.
Why is that important to you, and why did you decide to join President Trump on stage and speak up?
Well, because obviously, I'm a black woman, so I think about all of the things that go on in communities that are predominantly black, where there are so many intelligent children, so many creative, bright children that simply didn't get a head start in life, And so when I saw the Trump accounts thing being talked about the first day the president ever spoke on it with Dell, I was just like, wow. Like, I love this idea. Like, it's money that's going to be growing as they're getting older. It's collecting interest and so my big thing is financial literacy, because you could teach a person everything in the world, but if they don't know how to manage money, if they don't know what the financial world really entails, then they'll get it and lose it. So what is the point, Like, look at all these, artists in the public eye that have had so much money one minute and then nothing another minute. So I just think, especially for children in the inner cities, children who weren't born rich or weren't born middle class even, that they get to now have something to look forward to when they're getting older. They'll be having even money growing, which could potentially go into their college tuition, etc. But
now, how does Trump accounts guarantee this? How do Trump accounts guarantee that and how do you keep up? Because once he's not the president no more, then what happens, Nikki? What happens when he's no longer the president?
It's creating little businessmen and businesswomen. That's ultimately why I love it. And I think one of the things people love about President Trump is that he is a businessman, but he also gives insight on how you too can be a businessman and businesswoman. So it's pretty cool.
Do you think our schools are teaching that? Do you think our schools are well serving students right now in the country?
I don't think our schools teach that at all. I mean, it didn't when I was in school, so I don't know if the curriculum has changed. But yeah. So I don't know much about what's being taught, but I think financial.
Don't you got a child? How old would your child? How old would Nicki Minaj's child be right now? Like I know it's not old enough for like, you know, higher graded school, but you don't know what the curriculum is, and they didn't teach. And you do know what he did to the Department of Education, right? And
Literacy. I think that would be an amazing thing to add to their curriculum. Like at least in high school.
I agree. Do you think entering politics and speaking out is creating a better world for him?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't have wanted him to grow up in the world had President Trump not won. Because people don't know this, but, you know, well, my diehard fans know that people have been, doing a lot of bullying and smear campaigns and stuff like that. So, and that's one of the other reasons why I had to, get in the game, so to speak, because I've had enough and I'm a mom now. So I have to think about everything, in a different way.
Would you ever consider using your platform to enter politics?
Yes, I've already entered.
What's it been like for you since you've entered? How has your label reacted?
I don't know. I haven't spoken to them.
Is any of this kind of, I don't want to say change, but this evolution of Nicki Minaj going to be represented in new music that you may publish?
Yes.
I know it seemed like I'm not paying attention, because I'm not. This was 45 minutes of this woman's life that was pointless. Like, this was pointless. I think everything that needed to be said, though, got said, probably.
The entire world is currently going through a fertility crisis. I think everything except sub-Saharan Africa. Mm. Do you think more women should be getting married and having babies? Do you think more women should be encouraged to have babies? What does that mean for someone like you who has a stable family unit and preaches about how lovely and great it is to be a mother?
Well, yes. I think it makes women and men happy. I think it's a good feeling, because the thing is, I don't think people realize being married, and it's not just a spouse, it's like a best friend too. Like that person that you get to like talk their ear off and about everything.
Got a captive audience.
And they can't tell you, shut up. They just gotta sit there. But then you end up getting advice, and you can use it as a soundboard, I guess, in a way to hear what would an average man think about what I'm about to say or do or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like it kind of has been getting a bad rap lately, as if, no, we don't want to settle down. And I don't think you have to settle down, but I just want people to know it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful thing. You guys don't have to run from it, run to it.
And this shit, at the end of the day, Shorty dumb is a motherfucker, man. And y'all can go and watch the rest of that if you want to, if y'all even made it this far, because she dumb as a motherfucker. I'm going to just say that. But, man, like this video, hype this video. You know what I'm saying? Comment. Let me know what y'all think. How y'all feel, man? Like, because at the end of the day, like none of the answers that she gave told me nothing other than I'm begging for the right to be here. I got a different agenda. This has nothing to do with me liking Trump. This ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing. This is something completely the fuck different. And you know what I think it is? I don't think her husband could go to Canada. I don't think her husband can go to Canada. And I think that's her fear of of having to go back herself, and at the end of the day, she don't have citizenship here, and her marrying him don't give her citizenship, and her having a son don't give her citizenship either. So let me know what y'all think, man. If you fucking with the content, man, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the bell, and I'll be back with some other ones, just because y'all probably think ain't gonna be no other ones.